Hello everyone and welcome to Coffee with Kerry. Now, and this is the said cup of coffee. Now, if you've not done Coffee with Kerry before, it's a monthly short-ish video that I put out, and it also goes out as a podcast as well. And what I do is I will talk about a subject that's either crossed my view of vision, it's popped up on social media, it's something that someone has said to me or requested, or just something that's intrigued me. Now, it's never my aim to offend, not racist, sexist, whatever. And whenever I choose a subject, I always try to put both sides of the topic to you guys, because this is all about instilling, maybe planting a seed for a future conversation with someone else, or maybe giving you something to mull over while you're doing a walk or something. So anyway, today's Coffee with Kerry is all about something that was a hugely important discovery in my life. Mouthful of coffee. Now, as a lot of you know, I've had a couple of careers, although the string that ties them all together has been creativity. I mean, I was a baker and confectioner, and I was designing gateaux and confectionery in the bakery trade. I then became a performer, so then I was helping with costume design, performing myself, dancing, singing, helping set up stuff like that. I also worked for a little while helping put parties together, so I would theme things. There was a time when I lived in Chicago, I had a part-time job as a manager of the Bombay company, which I think Bombay company might have gone by now actually, and I used to do all of the window dressing and all of the display pieces as well, so I had to learn how to do that. And then eventually I came back to the world of cake decoration design, and as you probably know without bragging, I became a world-renowned cake decorator and designer, although COVID got rid of all that. And now you know me as an artist, and I've been creative my entire life, whether it was as a child with crayons and paper and clay and stuff like that, all the way through to present day. So everything I'm saying can relate pretty much to all of that. And it's something that I discovered, and I wish I'd really discovered it earlier. Now, when I was finding my feet, let's just use artist, because I'm probably going to say the word artist, so let's just stay with the word artist. When I was trying to find my feet in whatever genre I was within, I was always trying to find my style. I would watch other people, emulate them, which is never a problem. However, that was probably my biggest mistake. You shouldn't be trying to find your style. You should try to find yourself. Now, I'll explain a bit, and hopefully it won't go around the block too many times. When you're trying to find your style, you watch other people, you emulate other people, you try to mimic or reproduce what they've produced, and that is right. That is a learning curve. And you hope that within that process, you discover your style. I keep using the word style because it's a word that comes up a lot within the creative community. Oh, you've got to find your style. However, the moment you get to a stage where you think you can name your style, so say someone says, oh, steampunk is my style, or abstract is my style, you've immediately created one of these. It's a box and you put yourself in it. And then what you'll find is after a while, your passion may fade a little in that style inside your box, and you're struggling to be creative. But what you've done is, by putting yourself in the box, giving yourself a style, a title to work within, you are then limiting your imagination to staying within the confines of what you think you've discovered is what you should be doing. Now, you can use words like an overbearing, that's probably the wrong way to put it, an overlayering title of something like, say you are a watercolor artist. That's not a style, that's a technique. If you're a mixed media artist, which I kind of call myself nowadays, that's that's a multifaceted title that covers a lot of different genres, different materials, different things you work within. Um, if you're someone who's a collage artist, collage isn't a style, it's a technique, because you can collage anything. Um, so, but by saying that I found my style, and you've limited yourself to a certain style, you're limiting yourself. So what I would say is find you, and that's really hard to do. Um, Although there are telltale signs along the way. As you're being influenced by other people's creativity, well, all influenced by other people's creativity, and you're taking the little snippets that you like out of their techniques and maybe expanding them to be a technique that you enjoy, along the way you will find you will periodically be drawn back to things that you really enjoyed. That is basically the start of you discovering you. For example, I play, yes, play is the right word, play is a creative word. I play with a lot of different mediums. Granted, I've just told you I'm a mixed media artist, so therefore you would expect that. However, I've dipped my toe into a lot of different mediums to find out what I'm more comfortable with. The ones I'm not comfortable with, I continue to play and explore. Um, I like coloured pencils. I've seen lots and lots of people work with coloured pencils. I struggle with it. It doesn't feel natural to me. I haven't got rid of my colour pencils. They're actually behind the iPad you're watching me from. Um, sorry, I'm filming from. You know what I mean. Um, I will continue when I have time, or when a project dictates, or if I'm working my art journal or even my dump art journal. I will pull out the pencils and go, right, let's have another go at these. And I'll revisit those things. And a lot of you are probably aware I've been on a watercolour journey for probably over a year now. And the thing I struggled with that was I was trying to do the style, there's that word again, what that other people did. They would do seascapes, they would do landscapes, they would do florals, they would do loose things. And I was trying to conform to what I thought the rules were. And we all know in art there are no rules. Um, However, I've now got to the point where if I'm creating something, I will sometimes go, what should I work in today? Sometimes it'll be watercolor, and I'll pull it out and I will push my knowledge and my skills with watercolor to see if I can adapt them to what I fancy making. Um, I'm not going to do framed pictures of seascapes and landscapes and stuff like that and hang them on walls, because that's not who I am. I'm someone who gets very bored very quickly, which is another reason why there are so many different things in the studio mind, from quilting to drawing to painting to stamping to stencils to mixed media canvases. All of that, all of it, I will flit between them, and I haven't even included all the skills that go with journaling or gel plating or working with air dry clay or cold porcelain. So I hop around, and that's what keeps my mind fresh and active. It also means that if I'm doing a technique in one medium, I may go, oh, wonder what I'm going to do that in this medium instead. So maybe I'm doing collage in papers and tissue. I may go, I wonder if I roll out clay, whether I can get clay in multicolored patterns and textures, and I can collage something in that. Well, obviously you can, because I've seen it done. And in fact, I've played around with it myself a bit, but it means that I don't limit myself. I try to be open to a lot of different things. And as you've seen with my videos, I keep it real. If it's a mess and it doesn't work, you see it. There's very few times that I will go, this video is never going to be seen. It's diabolical, it's boring, it's not happening. But the journey of discovery that we're all upon isn't about finding your style, it's about finding you. It's finding what makes your the reason you walk into the studio, the reason you get excited about, oh, I've got half an hour, let's go and create something. That's the you. That's what you need to discover. And the more you can discover that, the more you'll be creative, the more you'll go places. Now, the reason I don't like find your style is because my style, if I want to say the word style referring to myself, changes. I would rather say my taste changes than my style. And this goes from everyone creatively. Oh, there's that speech bubble again. I remember when I was a cake decorator and designer, I would see these beautiful, clean looking cakes with maybe one flower perched on the side. I learned how to do it. I did it and went bored. And then I'd look another way and go, right, well, I like the smooth coloured cake. I like the flour on it, but it needs something else. So I'd then work with isomalt, which is a form of sugar, and I'd make edible jewels and put them on there and go, okay, I like that. I'd learnt another skill, and then I'd adapt stuff. And with my artwork, I do the same thing. I will get to a point where I will almost get bored with the technique I'm doing. And then I'll look around and go, how do I take this further? Like my art, well, there's three of them. There's another couple of art journals over there. And you don't see those. You will see them maybe one day when they're finished. But I believe if I'm going to explore my own creativity, there has to be private time to do it within. And I think we all need that. We all need to, if you're a content creator, you need to turn the camera off occasionally, or else you are basically conveyor belt pushing art out. You never have time to explore. You don't have time to play. Even though you say you're playing in the video, there's got to be some sort of game plan going. There's got to be the fact that you're limited to maybe half an hour or 1 hour or 15 minutes, or if it's 59 seconds, because you're doing it as a short. You're limiting yourself. There needs to be time, and I do it myself here. I will start a project and I'll leave it open, say my art journal, I'll leave it open on one of the counters over there. And every day I come in, I'll take a look and I'll do my job. And then occasionally I'll go, oh, I wonder whether that'll work. And I'll come in and maybe I'll do a bit of stenciling in the corner, or maybe I'll do some mark making because I've seen someone doing it and it's inspired me. Or maybe it's a rainy day and I've gone, wonder what this would look like if I splashed water on it. Would it mark it in an interesting way? Do you see what I mean? So if you turn the word style into the word taste, it gives your creativity longevity. It means you can change tack. You can pick up and put down stuff. You can enjoy exploring other stuff that inspires you to use in another medium. So for me personally, it was all about finding the freedom of not trying to have a style. And I, being someone who has anxiety and OCD, not hugely, but I do have OCD to a certain level, I very much like to have a structure that I can hang my schedule, my creativity, my world upon. So then I know that, right, okay, I now know what's happening. And once I've got that framework in place, I'm then okay with going, today I know that's what I planned, and that's safe because it's held there, but I'm going to play with this today. And maybe if it works, I'll hang it on the structure I've already got. So it's quite difficult for me in that I have to have structure to move forward. Well, there you go. Okay, prime example, desk next to me. This is my planner. Yeah, this is my planner. Everything goes in there, from ideas to planning stuff ahead. Everything in there is written in pencil. Because if it's in the planners, it's in the planners. It's not being lost from my mind. I can rub it out or erase it and move it to another day, another week, another year. But it's there. And then once I've done something or something has been booked in, it then gets written in a pen. And also, once I've completed something, I erase it in pencil and I write in ink that I've done it. And that's one thing I learned along the way. So I've sort of sidetracked. Oh, squirrel. Hello, Darcy. That's a squirrel. Sorry, if you know Darcy, you know Darcy. There was one thing that I was finding when I was working for myself, and I'm still working for myself a lot of the time, as someone who's creative, I needed to qualify how I was spending my days. And say you said, well, Ceri, what did you do last Wednesday? I'd probably go, I potted, I was in the studio. I couldn't tell you what I was doing, but I was in the studio. However, by putting down in pen in my planner, and all of these inserts that I've got, let's try and do it without opening it, all of these inserts, and I create them myself, all of those inserts I keep. Like there's a bookshelf downstairs in the living room, and they're all lined up there. So if ever I'm feeling, oh, I'm worthless, I can't do this, I'm not achieving anything, I go back through and I'll flick through them and I go, oh my God, look, I did 31 postcards. I did canvases on that day. I made bottle art here. I went and did a course in this. I learnt to do this. I went shopping for supplies and spent 2 hours in a thrift store getting stuff to be able to turn into other projects. Also, if I have a day where I just want to watch YouTube or watch the internet for creative things, I will go day researching or researched on YouTube, because that qualifies why I was doing it. Like my family would go, Ceri, you just watch YouTubes all day. No. In my mind, I was researching. I was watching other creative people. I was being inspired. There's always a notepad or a list of sticky notes or post-its next to me. As I'm watching things, I will sometimes hit the pause button, write down an idea. If I'm being inspired by the whole project, I'll write down whose channel and the title of the video so I can actually find it again. If it's just a technique or the way something was lit or the way something was laid out or displayed, sometimes I'll do a screenshot. But to me, watching videos is research. It's filling up my library of inspiration. None of us can creatively keep spewing out stuff that's creative unless we top the battery up, we put more into that creative library. There are times when I go to the museum, so that one's not really a good example, but I've got friends who live just outside London, and if I go and visit them and Rachel and her husband go, we're going into London, do you fancy coming? I'm like, yes, I'll come with you. Because invariably I will walk down a street or I'll see a shop window, or if I'm lucky, I'll see a gallery or pop into a museum or something, which I've never been to, and maybe I've never walked down that street, or maybe I've walked down Carnaby Street and someone has been dressed in a really wacky way, and I'm like, wow, okay, that's something I would never have thought of looking at. Or I'll just go out and I will look around and see how people are dressed. All of those things are inspiration which goes into my mind. Like, the world of fashion is not just about what we see on the catwalk, it's what people are wearing every day. People display their individuality by the colours and the shape and the designs of stuff they wear. That can be amazing. I will walk down the street and go, oh my gosh, flamingo pink, lime green, and peacock red. Not my colour combination, but you know what? It's made me think about that, and I've gone, why isn't it my colour combination? Am I so institutionalized to colour combinations that I've gone, oh, can't do that, can't put those two colours together? Yeah, you can. It's art. You do whatever the heck you like. So, to bring this to a close, always look wherever you are. There is a difference between seeing and looking. And this is something I used to lecture about when I used to teach in culinary, lecture in culinary institutes about the creativity of design, is our windows are our eyes. Our eyes are our windows, whichever way you want to put that. Everything we see, we should look at, not just glance over, not just see it, but look at it. Say you walk to work in the morning. Okay, when you walk to work, the next time you walk to work and you go past, let's see, you go past the supermarket, or you go past the police station, or the library, or there's that house you keep looking at their garden and you walk past it every day. Actually, take a couple of minutes, step to the side of the curb or the sidewalk so you're not inhibiting anyone else, and actually look at it. What are the shapes of the window? Does the masonry make a pattern? Is the roof parallel to another part of something? What colour are the curtains? Is there an inscription on there? Are the bricks all the same colour? Are they multicoloured? Is there a textural detail in there? Is there a gargoyle on the roof? Is there a weather vane? What are either side of the steps if there's steps going up to the front door? What does the front door look like? Has it got a knocker? Has it got a doorbell? Has it got a handle? Has it got a knob? Has it got windows? Has it got stained glass? Look at stuff. All of that, and I'm not saying you have to remember it, just look at it. Because I can guarantee you will see things you've never noticed before. Even walking around the park, look at stuff. Look at it and actually see what you're looking at. Take in the patterns on the leaves. Take in the sunlight coming through the backs of the petals on the flowers. Take in that little brook that cascades over a couple of rocks and look at the way the light plays on that water. Look at how the moss has formed on the rocks. Look at a tree and look at the patterns the bark makes. Now, I know I sound like I'm being a complete and utter numpty here, and they're like, good God, his man's crazy. No, I'm taking information in. You will be surprised when that information pops back up in your creative thought process. There will be a time when you go, oh, wait a minute, I saw something like, what was that? It was a stained glass window on that house I saw, and all of a sudden you've kicked yourself in a new direction. Or maybe you're creating a model one day, or you're painting in watercolors or acrylics, and you're painting a house and you're going, this house is looking a bit boring. You never know, ka-ching, something come in and go, wait, if I change every third brick to a darker shade, or if I do the first 6 rows of bricks around the whole bottom of the house and then make them textural, it'll change the character. So anyway, don't want to labour the point, but you get where I'm going. So don't just look, see, take that information in. Wherever you are, it's not just visual. Use your senses. Listen to things and how do they make you feel? If you're walking along the beach and you're hearing the waves crashing, try to capture that in some way. Just take a moment to breathe and take it in. That will create, if you want to be technical, that'll create a little folder or a little file that gets slotted into your hard drive, and it'll be there for the future. But most importantly for me, and I keep saying for me because this may not be for everybody, I have avoided trying to find my style. I have tried to find my taste. I have tried to find me. And I think that is very important for everybody, whether you dabble occasionally, whether you make cards, whether you design business cards, whether you work electronically, whether you create digitals for the art world, just your own life, whether you are arranging the statues in your curio cabinet, whether you're gardening and putting stuff together. Find yourself, find what makes you smile, find yourself. Find yourself, encourage your own tastes to be wide and expansive, take in everything you see, and I can guarantee you will become a more rounded, creative person in whichever field you work in. You will get more joy and satisfaction of the freedom it gives you than being trapped in a box that is classed your style. Because once you found your style, in your words, you will have worked really hard to get to that point, and you'll be precious about it. And you won't want to walk away from it. You go, I struggled really hard to find out that I work best in steampunk. Fine, steampunk it is. But steampunk is a technique. It is a style. It is a theme. It is a taste to some people. But don't limit yourself to being only a steampunk artist. Look around, there's some wonderful steampunk elements that can be hinted at or dropped into other stuff. And this is nowhere, as I said, insulting to anyone, watercolorists, glass makers, quilters, steampunk artists, anything. If that is your jam, if that's what you want to do, then there's, again, no rules in art. Enjoy it, but don't limit yourself. Try and explore, try and play. Play is my biggest resource in my artistic journey, is playing, allowing myself to make an absolute bloody mess of something, but then to look at it and go, what have I learned? I've learned never to do that again. That's probably one good thing. I've also learned that maybe those mediums don't go together, or that colour is just never going to work for me unless I absolutely come up with some new idea. And you know what? I've been proved wrong. I've done colour combinations in the past and gone, oh, that's absolutely hideous. 2 years later, I've changed. My taste has changed. I've gone, ooh, I wonder whether I can play with that idea and maybe tweak it slightly. So, art is a never-going journey. You are an ever-developing creative person. Your tastes will change. If you need to use the word style, your style will evolve. It will change. Even the grandmasters out there went through different stages of their own creativity to end up where we probably know them best for. But if you were to research one of those grandmasters and look back through all of their previous artwork, you'd be astonished the stuff they went through to get where they are today. So I think it's enough from me. It's 26 minutes, and that's probably more than I wanted to do, but it's important. And I think we need to think about all of those things. So good cup of coffee, always something that's necessary and welcome in my life. So until next time, I'm Ceri Griffiths, and I will see you again. Bye bye.